Okay guys, so this is a video about the Apple product of the year. It's the Apple Watch Ultra, and man, it is so good. It's amazing and I love it, and it's just everything I've ever wanted. But I feel bad saying that because for a lot of you it just can't be. Like, it's physically 49 millimeters. It is absolutely gigantic. But on my wrist, which is a little like normal large size, I don't know what defines a normal wrist. All that matters is that mine it works on, and that makes me so happy because it's the first truly new Apple Watch since 2015. I mean, we got revisions and larger screens and thinner bodies and new materials, but we didn't get this, which is all titanium, which makes it pretty lightweight, although definitely heavier, noticeably heavier than my aluminum Apple Watch. The casing here is just really unique with the crown guard and the raised side button and the action button and the larger speaker grill, and of course what you're looking at is the display. It's nearly 2 inches now, and man, I love it so much. Mainly, of course, because it's just legitimately more usable, typing out text messages, browsing on your watch, checking emails. Listen, don't laugh. Okay, I already hear on your watch, really, hey, it's a big screen. I hope we can watch videos on here at some point because low-key, it's got the battery to do it. We'll get to that in a second, but the screen is just great. It's high res, it looks beautiful, but the display is also sapphire crystal, which means that it doesn't break. But Sam, how would you know? Well, I actually spent the entirety of a couple of days just slamming it against rocks, scraping it on roads, throwing it around. And no matter what I did, no matter how hard I hit it, I couldn't get the screen to crack, because on top of that, there's 2 superpowers here. One is the sapphire crystal, which, fun fact, is also available on the stainless steel Apple Watches. It's also got this ever so slight raised lip here, where the titanium just comes above the display ever so slightly. So you never really feel it unless you really put your finger down and you're like, oh, it is raised a little bit. But I think the protection that offers is 100x the other Apple Watch with the fully curved exposed glass display. It is just incredible. But that is just the start of the Ultra. There's also the battery life on here. Apple says it's 36 hours. And I was like, no way. The current Apple Watch barely gets me through a day a lot of the time. I don't know how they just nailed every part of this watch, but I took this off the charger for 2 days at a time. So I would wake up on like a Monday, go all through Monday, all through Tuesday, and only put it on the charger at the end of the second day. And I would still have 10 or 20% battery left with no charge in between. That is actually impossible to do on the older Apple Watches. I didn't even touch the low power mode, which says it'll extend it to 60 hours because I like all the, oxygen readings and the heart rate stuff and the always on display. Turning on the low power mode disables that stuff, so I'm sure you can get even crazier battery life, but I'm very happy. I'm perfectly satiated with the 2 days of battery life. It's double the normal watch, and it's, of course, because it's so large, they've packed a giant battery in here. That's sick, all right? I like that. I'm never afraid for Apple to thicken things up to give us more battery. Like, just full send it, man. And to be clear here, I'm getting this 2-day plus battery life by working out almost every day. I work out, I don't know, some weeks 7 days, some weeks 4 or 5 days. I'm doing workouts. I'm using this. I'm going on trips. I'm traveling, okay? I assume if you sit at home, the battery life's gonna be even better. So if you're not an adventurer, an explorer, that's okay too. You're still going to enjoy the extra battery. I really thought about ending the review there and not even getting into this other stuff because those 2 things for me make this worth it. The new design, the crazy battery, and the additional functional use of the larger and stronger display. Like, that is worth $800 to me. But then Apple, they did everything else cool and gadgety about this that I just absolutely love. Small things like the display getting twice as bright. It now goes up to 2,000 nits when you're in the sun instead of up to 1,000 before. You've got the action button, which is just really nice, and it should be on all the watches because of how nice it is, but right now it's just on the Ultra. You can assign it to start a workout or be your flashlight, or even do a custom shortcut that you designed that runs on the watch when you press it. Is this Apple? We're talking about customization? Wow, guys. It's crazy what happens when you let people do stuff with buttons. They love it. People like buttons, so keep putting the buttons on here. There's the exclusive Wayfinder watch face where when you tap it, it goes into a compass mode, which, I haven't really used, but it's still cool, and I like messing with it. You've got tons of data on here, and the new watch face just perfectly complements the new custom bands for hiking, running, and swimming. And this is such a cool idea. Can we just take a minute to appreciate that Apple had people engineer bands for specific activities? That is so cool to me. Like, as a pro user, whatever that means, as somebody who really cares about this stuff, the fact that they didn't just release like one band, it's specific bands for everything. I've got the Alpine loop. I'm very excited to get the trail loop in. And while I used the underwater one, it was probably my least favorite of all of them, but also I used the underwater stuff the least. And by that, I mean pretty much not at all. It's cool. It's got a new depth app, and there's even going to be a full-featured dive computer coming later in 2022. So it looks like Apple did a great job with the water stuff. It's just not my thing, so I don't want to spend much time on it. I don't know what more there is to say. Oh, there's the dual GPS on here too, which is more accurate and reliable. That's awesome as well. This is a 10. This is a perfect 10. I'm going to start throwing numbers in here. It's a 10. All right, the Apple Watch Ultra is a perfect 10. It's worth way more than $7.99 to me. I think Apple could charge $9.99 and it'd still absolutely be worth it. That's not an idea for Apple. I'm just trying to illustrate the value. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. This was a high energy review. I like my Apple Watch Ultra. Goodbye.